Hey, unsure how this works, but we're going to go. I just downloaded Descript. We're going to use that. So welcome to a Cotera overview on how you build an AI agent to automatically do pre-call research on the company that you're meeting with. We're going to do two things. Before we get started, I'm going to run you through the product and how it works on a very, very basic level. But before we even do that, we're going to go through and talk about the problem here. So oftentimes what happens is a meeting gets booked. You have to go, a salesperson has to go through and do a ton of work trying to understand, hey, what are the business's problems? Reading all of these articles, figuring out, hey, like, what is my prospect saying? Figuring out who the prospect is, all of that kind of super fun stuff. This bot is designed to sit on top of your calendar, take all of the meetings that are not internal, and figure out who the person is, who the company is, do deep research on the company, and then give you a document in Notion. You can post to Slack, you do whatever, but we're going to do a Notion today to go in there. So I'll give you a bit of a sneak peek. I have a meeting with Ramp scheduled. I do. This is sort of like the type of deck that I'd get. This agent is trained for Cotera. So again, I'll walk you through what we do, but just to give you some context, the way that the agent is set up is it's designed to work for me. The data that you give it would be about your company. I've given it data about my company. So you can see here, it gives me an overview, but then all of the recent articles are all about how they care about AI agents. My business sells AI agents, and so they introduce AI agents to automate finance operations. They've reached $1 billion in revenue. They've just gotten more funding. And then here's like the relevant signals. They're growing very quickly. They're focusing on automation. They've got an open ecosystem strategy because all these sorts of things. They have significant funding for AI. They've secured substantial capital investment specific for AI development. So very, very good product for us. But let's walk through how I set this up and how it would work for every single calendar meeting that I have set up automatically without fail. So let's start by looking at Cotera as a product. I've got this right here. Here's like my calendar just for a given week. Here are all the sales meetings that I've booked. Click this and you'll be able to see, who I've set time with, what their response status was, and the data. Very, very simple data set. A very quick brief on Cotera. What you can do is you can set up an AI agent to work for you at scale. So I'm going to actually erase this. We're going to kick this all off. Okay. Just use GPT 4.1, replace this. So here, let's do this. I am going to give you the name of a company, and I would like you to figure out who to extract the name of the company that I am meeting with. Context, I am Cotera. So choose the other. It's kind of a stupid prompt, but you can type in anything here then. So you can say max@ramp.com, Ibby@cotera.com. Hit go. And then the AI responds with the company that you're meeting with is Ramp. Now, the thing that's interesting here is that you can do this at scale, right? So what I can do is I can give it access to this attendees. And what it'll do is it'll run it on top of every single one. So if I go here and I type in attendees, I can hit preview and hit go. And now suddenly it's responded with every single company that I'm going to be meeting with. And so easy. But let's do something a little bit more advanced than that. I would also like you to go to Google to use actually Perplexity and run a search on the company and tell me what they do and give me a breakdown of the person that I am meeting with. And what I can do is I can give the AI agent access to tools. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it access to, actually what we're going to do is we're going to make this a bit easier. Use Google and run a search on what they do. Okay, so we're going to go here. We're going to hit Google search. Let's say web search. And then we'll say, we're going to do box@ramp.com, Ibby@Cotera.co. Basically, what it'll do is it made a Google search call. You are meeting with Ramp. What Ramp does? Ramp is a financial technology company. And so like you can see here, right? Like we're going to go and we're going to give it access to Notion. We're going to give it access to Google News. We've got tons and tons of different connectors. You can view them all at our website, but basically like we'll give it access to everything and it'll be able to go through and do it. So without further ado, let's walk through the prompt that I've written, right? Because like this is a pretty bad prompt. And what we're going to do is it's all in the prompt. The secret sauce is in the prompt. So you go here, system prompt, news scanner, Notion writer. You are News Scanner, Cotera's research assistant that helps salespeople prepare for important prospect meetings. We're going to give it this. You'll receive a meeting title plus one email from each side. Find the non-Cotera email, company, research it. So basically what this is doing is it's giving it the context, right? So it's like you're going to get a meeting title, right? So like it's Max CC Ibby, right? I want you to go and find the non-Cotera email, summarize the recent, and this is basically just the overview. And then this is like the database in Notion. So, if I go here, everything is under AI Document Hub. Basically, that's where I wanted to go. And what I'm doing is I'm giving it access to this. So tasks, identify target company, research them. Here are the tools that you made to make this better. You can use Google to find their press blog or LinkedIn pages, Google News, get the recent coverage, you did at least once, fire crawl, read content from their plus or blog URLs, and then run less than or equal to 2 times. Here are some example queries. I want you to extract the findings and then, Notion write back flow, create the page. This basically is just me pasting. This is just me pasting like the tool. Like if you go here and you click page, it's basically just literally this, but just filled in. And so it tells the AI, hey, this is how you use it. Append the block children. That's the other thing that you have to use. So I come in here, blocks, append block children. There you go. Block ID, children, after. And then this basically goes through and walks through all of those. And then outputs. It gives it very specific roles. And so what we've done is we've hit all the points. We tell the AI what it is. We've given it tasks. And then we've told it how to use the tools to be able to accomplish those tasks. Then we go here. And let's try it out. Okay. So I've got my system prompt here, news scanner, Google News, Firecrawl. So let's give it access to those. We're going to give it access to Firecrawl. We're going to give it access to Google News. And then, I've basically just pasted it in here. So let's see what happens when we do this. I'm going to hit pause just so let's run this. And so now what it's doing is it's going to start doing its job. Google News, it's searching Google search. It's hitting Google News. It wants to do some stuff there. It's running Google search again. It wants to extract using Firecrawl. So we're going to hit go with that. Okay. It wants to create a Notion page. What will give it access to do? Side note, this chat window is designed to test specific things. It's designed to sort of test something permanent. And so what we're doing is once we are done with it, let's hit go with this. What we can do is we can set it to run, right? Like every 5 minutes. And as new meetings come into our calendar, i.e. here, it will just run this automatically. And so it's now starting to do stuff, but let's switch over to Notion. Okay. And yeah, so it's found, again, we showed this at the beginning, but it's summarized all of the, I think that we could have done this a little bit better to give it, we can make these headings, right? So let's actually we should tell it to we should go back to the AI and say hey, can you make these your headings? But yeah, that's, it goes through, it gives us sales relevant signals. It's basically every single thing that we put into our prompt, which you can do here, right? So company overview, recent articles, it's actually said paragraph. We should tell it for each one. It should give us a heading and sales relevant signals. And so it's given us all of these types that it wants. But yeah, that's how we do it all in 10 minutes. You can do this for a handful of things, by the way. You can run it for the individual prospect. You can run it for the company, you can run it for the org, you can run it for whatever, right? You give it access to LinkedIn, you give it access to Apollo, whatever tools you want to give it access to, you can adjust this prompt to do a ton of stuff, which is pretty cool. Let me know if you have any questions, or let me know what you find in the comments. But there you go. Thanks.